What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. I'm Alex. All right, and today we are giving you a new review for by Angel Studios called Brave the Dark, actually based on a true story. And again, you guys know how we do here. Yeah, we can start with our non-spoiler reviews and first thoughts. And I guess I'm going to be starting here. Honestly, I thought I honestly was really surprised how good this movie was because honestly, Angel Studios had been kind of like a new type of studio stuff that we've been trying to see movies for. Like, one of them was like Sound of Freedom, The Shift, After Death, one of those few things and stuff like that. Honestly, pretty good stories then because again, it's a Christian themed movie studio that does a lot of Christian related religious type films and everything. But honestly, the last movie I saw with them was Homestead, and that movie was god awful. I'm not even gonna get into that one,
No
but
pun intended.
yeah, yeah. But now I'm not getting into that one. I'm gonna focus on the positives, where they
Yeah.
actually did a good turnaround with the movie Brave the Dark, which I found to be a very compelling, strong character driven s film on like second chances, as well as good character chemistry between the actors of Nicholas Hamilton and Jared Harris, who plays the respective characters, Nathan Williams and Stan Dean. No, honestly, I really love the performance where Nicholas Hamilton does a very good stoic, but like very trouble damaged performance stuff on his face with his actions. Where honestly, it feels very subtle if you don't catch it, but I think it's very well done. As Jared Harris does a very good job as is more like very altruistic, very devoted helper of this teenager and the community. But also, yeah, very strong storytelling, very good emotional depth and core that gives greater connection. Honestly, the movie was very great for me, so I give it an 8 out of 10.
Nice, nice. I agree. The movie was phenomenal. Great storytelling by Angel Studios. And doing a little research into this movie, I did find a lot of people online saying, "Oh, this is a Jesus movie or a Christ movie." This movie, if you have not seen it, is not really directly related to Christ, but just echoes his teachings. Really, it really wasn't a Christian-based movie. Watching it, I I didn't know it was a Christian-based movie until the end, and it was Angel Studios that made it. So going into it, it's not a super Jesus movie. You can go watch this movie and take it for what it is, which is a great story. Getting into that great story, I feel like this this was a feel good version of Breaking Bad. This is like if Breaking Bad went the right way. If they weren't selling drugs, if it was a good influence.
That's a funny way of putting that.
Yeah. So, feel good version of Breaking Bad on our hands here. Jared Harris was honestly phenomenal. Moments of laughter and compassion from him. He made me chuckle a couple times in the movie theater. He had some really good moments, and he really made this movie. It really just showed the goodness of the human spirit, and that goodness can win the fight against evil out here in this world. And like you said, it's a story about second chances, maybe third chances, fourth chances, maybe five. You know, uh, it's about second chances, and like we all needed a second chance. We're all going to need another chance in the future. So it's just a great storytelling, compassionate storytelling. Definitely will have some tears or your eyes just a little watery in this film. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think it's borderline eight. Borderline eight. 7 out of 10 for me, which is a good movie. I would definitely watch it again. Uh, you want to go ahead and get into spoilers? Do you have any other things you want to say in the non-spoiler territory here?
Actually, I think you summed that up perfectly for that one.
Yeah. Let's get into spoilers and let's get into the nitty gritty of this movie. Guys, if you have not seen this movie, we're about to get into some spoilers. So if you don't want this movie to be spoiled for you, which I think you should go see this movie, I think it's a great watch. It does not need to be spoiled for you. So click off this now. We're about to get into it. Alex, I'll let you take over. What you got for us?
Yeah, yeah. I think we actually should start with like the chemistry between Hamilton and Harris because there's been relationships as like Nathan and Stan, where Nathan was this very troubled youth with like a very painful past in history, and Stan Dean as this again, he's a very kind and compassionate teacher who really puts himself involves himself in with other students and stuff like that, and really listens to them, caters to what their feelings, and tries to help them as
Oh
best
yeah,
they can. But he does like a really solid job on trying to give this sense of like kindness and help to Nathan, who really doesn't have like any type of support or anyone really backing him up. Again, because he was living in his own car, I think for like 2 years, and like he was starving, and like again, Stan basically gave him a candy bar after that, where it's like the only food he ate within 3 days. And it's like, but also, again, it does this whole sort of thing where Nathan is always very reluctant for like kindness and help because he's never really been used to that. And again, he has this like very jaded type of belief where everybody always wants something in exchange. And like, honestly, he's not wrong. There are things like that, but the way the
yeah,
world is now, it's really hard not to be that jaded. And it's hard to see like someone who's like really kind trying to help you out of the goodness of his heart. And it's hard to cut through. And that relationship, I think, was just done so perfectly without having to go into like the more usual like helpful scenario does in other movies where like your person does this thing and does this whole thing where he rejects you over and over and over again until like maybe like the third half where he finally comes around, or like in the middle of the second act, then does something terrible in the third act, and just kind of like this whole like workaround again, like 2 steps forward, 2 steps backwards again, and try to get back forward again. Elsie, the movie does it very smartly, where it feels very authentic and doesn't try to do like a whole retread as normal films do.
no, it was really authentic, and it showed worldly problems that we all go through. I want to take it to Mr. Dean as a teacher. At the beginning, we saw he was the cool teacher, and we've all been through high school, and there's always like maybe one on every hall, like those teachers that are all in. You know,
Yeah,
those teachers that are all in with the work, they're all about the students, and they're really all in with it. And it's not all teachers, man. Maybe like if we're thinking back on it, man, just in my high school days, maybe like less than 20% of the teachers are like, you know,
oh
uh,
yeah, same here,
yeah,
same here.
yeah,
I can barely think of that many teachers I had that were really more all in on trying to help you get there. I could literally probably name like maybe a few on literally one hand alone.
yeah. There was always like maybe one on every hall, and they really showed that with the background in the teachers lobby too,
Mhm.
with all those teachers not being in, and why are you doing this for this student? You're gonna get yourself in some mess bringing this kid into your home, and it really showed the background of that because it made me think, like looking back on it, like how many teachers were really that all in, really really cared about us like that,
Yeah,
and I was like, man, Mr. Dean was one of the good teachers, and there are good teachers out that are making an impact on kids just like he is. You saw it in the first scenes when he walked in the classroom, everybody's saying what's up, he's saying hi to everybody. Of course the students know him. Like, I remember the teachers that would be like this. uh and I think it was a necessary story to show, like, these people are making an impact on people's lives, even if it's as small as just like giving somebody a candy bar.
no, yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, it was very really well done. I think it's also a weird thing how, like, with the way things are now currently in this area, it's really hard to really find a teacher that really cares for you. Because some of these teachers nowadays don't give a fuck as well as any of the students instead they're teaching.
Right.
But they're always you. But I think nowadays it's really rare to really, really find that one, just one.
Man, and Mr. Dean is that one. Mr. Dean is that one. I really love
Yeah,
I really love the story. I feel like all teachers, if you're a teacher, go watch this movie type deal, because it'll bring some teachers to tears, and maybe some teachers will see this movie and they'll step up their game a little bit.
yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this movie will bring some change to a teacher that's gonna go sit down and watch this and be like, dang, maybe I need to be more like that to my students. Maybe I need to check on these kids a little bit. Just like see if everything's all right. at home or whatever the circumstance may be. Just do a little more, you know?
No, yeah, absolutely. And then getting into Nathan, pretty much most of what he does as a character really does emphasize and really does more revert back to his memories, well, his dark past memories as a child. That leads all the way back to his mother and all these different flashback segments where he's either stopping in the middle and staring into space, and he just goes back into those traumatic moments, like he's stuck. And then oftentimes when like he's running, always just goes back to his childhood where he's like trying to run from something because that's like all he goes back to doing because like he's afraid really. That's what it is. He's afraid.
Man, Nathan, he played a good role. Very well played in this movie because it's really just between the relationship between Mr. Dean and him, you know? And man, they had some good chemistry in this movie. Just like their moments of chaos, the moments of uh anger, the moments of like compassion, the moments of like them apologizing and stuff like that, and just the relationship. It was a really really good storytelling.
Yeah,
It was
that's like the movie's strongest point.
yeah, it was really really good storytelling. How they did it, man. Even getting into like he even called Mr. Dean out on like, oh, you're just lonely because your mom's not here. Like you just want somebody to take care of type deal. Like he was calling him out on his stuff too, you know,
Mm.
because like that's kind of what he was doing. You know that could be a compulsive behavior. Like, oh, I haven't had to. I don't have nobody to take care of. Let me take care of this person. You know. So he was really
Mm.
calling him out on his stuff too. And Mr. Dean, I feel like saw like improvement and saw growth as he was trying to help Nathan grow. You know,
Mm.
really,
Yeah.
really good film. If you keep thinking about it, and talking about it, you know.
Yeah, because it really does. They really did challenge each other mostly. Like especially with like Nathan, he's always be talking like, "Okay, you can stop with like all your optimism talking. Like I get it, but you gotta stop." And it's like where Stan, like he's always used to telling all the other students like this whole positive thing, like it's not a big deal. You gotta keep going, this and that and such. But then he starts facing like this one kid who actually does need real help, does need this real change, and he's like he's against it, but he's still open to it because again, he's wearing him down and trying to gain greater trust in it and actually showing him like affection and help, like even giving like him gifts. Because again, Nathan was after he lost his parents, he's lost his mother mostly. He was in orphanages and like they didn't give out any gifts. The only thing they gave out was just a pair of underwear. And then his foster homes, they were terrible. Even his grandparents, like I don't even think his grandparents really cared that much. Like they just kind of wrote him off and saying like, "No, you don't need school. You're just gonna work. That's it." Like
Yeah,
they're not really thinking about his future, like his potential. Only Stan was. All the other teachers were all wrote him off as like, "Yo, he got arrested for stealing. He's a criminal. He's not going anywhere in life."
man. But this is happening in real life, man.
Mm.
I've witnessed this happen in real life. You know, with people just taking care of kids, just to get a check. You know, a check from the government comes in the mail every month. Um, so that's all they have these kids, some of these kids for, and they really do need somebody like Mr. Dean, you know, to help them and guide them, even just like a mentor or a basketball coach or something like that. These people in these situations, like they need somebody that cares about
Yeah, I think that's also like one of the greatest strengths that Angel Studios is doing, where literally most of the movies that they make, it always finds a way to pertain it to how it does in the modern day, and it really makes you think. Because I think what most of they realize nowadays, with all of us watching so many movies, is that like, watching these movies, everything really makes you think and really puts more up front and center the problems and issues that you need to be facing that you see is out there. Because like again, without these movies, like we know it's out there, but like we never really acknowledge it, or we even then we don't really fully know it. But with the movie, it has a way of like getting us entrenched in it with like these characters and the detail of the story, strengths of the writing, and we get to finally see that it's right. So these things really do happen. Maybe seeing it, making us watch this could really make us want to go out there, do a change, support in like any way we can. Whereas I think nowadays, this is why I say like film and media is really the strongest point to really get your point across. Because again, most of us nowadays, even though we like see this stuff in real life or seeing like on the news, it's like it don't really, we're not really fully clicking with it. It's like it's a strange thing.
It doesn't resonate like this.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, but like I said, that's the beauty and strength of film, and that's why I love it so much.
No, I get what you're saying. It doesn't resonate like this film, and films like this give people hope. You know, you leave the theater with hope, like we were saying with the teachers. Hopefully, it gives them hope to move forward, do a little better. You know, so really positive movie, man. And I think I gotta move it up to an 8 after this
Yeah,
conversation. After this conversation,
right. Right,
yeah,
it's like it's just so strong, man. It just gets
yeah.
you. It's, I mean, hell, if that didn't get you, then the emotional waypoint where Nathan just like finally tells his story of like the trauma he had in his past. It was like his own father killed his mother, and then his father literally blew his own head off because he couldn't live with the fact that he killed the woman that he's supposedly loved, even though he was like a very terrible person. And then of course, Nathan was basically forced to not tell anybody what happened, and like that stuff really messes you up, and it just keeps you back in that moment where like nobody believes you, or nobody ever wants to listen. And it really wasn't until that moment, until after he had met Stan, found a place, a good open space, free space to like literally tell how he feels, and it really opens him up to the potential that he has, and how like he's not like his father, and he's not going to be that way because he has somebody there to lead him in the right direction.
Definitely, man. Well crafted. That's the word. Well crafted, entertaining, and a meaningful story worth telling. This story was worth telling. I love what Angel Studios is doing with these stories. Just showing ordinary people can alter the course of someone's life. Uh, that's what it was. In time, this will pass. That was his saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. In time, this will pass was his saying, and it's so true for a lot of things. Like, can you remember like how big of an issue like something was in your past? You know, like how big of an issue something was to you, and then like now it like means nothing. Like I could care less about
Yeah,
that. You know?
I believe that's a lot of relatable stuff we could think about back in our high school days, man.
Yeah, like back in high
Yeah.
school, back in middle school, you're probably so nervous for whatever it was. But you know, in time it'll pass. Just with like breakups, stuff like that. You break up with your girl, and shit, it might be tough at first. Yeah, you might be wanting to hit her up, whatever the thing is. But
Mhm.
in time it passed. Like you, I don't even, I don't care what my exes are doing now. Like you know, like but the day after the breakup, I definitely did. You know, so in time things pass. Just like in relationships like that with consequences and things, you get in trouble. You get in trouble when you're younger. You get into some type of mess. You get through it in time. It'll pass. You'll get over it. It's not the end of the world type deal. And just having that positivity can bring you a long way. This movie is man. This movie was really good. It brings these thoughts to mind, man, and just gives hope. Do you have anything else, man?
Honestly, I think that's it. I think that's a really good way to end this video off with that, man. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, man, guys, this has been the Big Screen Show. I changed it from a 7 to an 8. 8 out of 10 for me. Alex talked me into it. An 8 out of 10 for Alex. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to comment what your rating was of this movie. And we look forward to seeing you soon for the next one, guys. This has been the Big Screen Show. It's Wyatt,
It's Alex.
and we'll see y'all next time.